My name is Lucia Ramos-Calleros. I am 18 years old and I go to Easley High School in Easley, South Carolina. I think the YMCA has a lot of meaning to me because that was essentially my introduction to the United States. That was my introduction to being a citizen. That was my introduction to taking pride in who I am and my identity as a first-generation immigrant. We lived on a farm in Chihuahua, Mexico, like the really rural part of it. And so after just a couple years, my parents were like, this is not the place ideally that we want to raise our daughters, especially if they want to pursue something educationally, professionally. It was time to sort of like put our homeland behind us and look at what we need to accomplish in the future. And so after those 4 years, we moved to the US. And so when we first moved here, we found the Y. And so it was really great to have a place that was welcoming, was accepting of everybody, no matter like their orientation, their gender, their ethnicity, what language they speak. And so when there were resources for my parents to not just advocate for us, but for themselves, it just, the cards fell naturally. And so it's been really nice to know that there's a community and there's a place in Easley for other families like mine. I don't think there are enough words to describe how much love I have for not just the Y, but the Youth in Government program specifically. But also Youth in Government has the power to give students confidence in areas that they were passionate before but just didn't have that voice. There is a plethora of opportunities to discover what you're interested in, what you want to go into, what you're passionate about, what lights your fire.
Youth in Government is a program that believes in young people's voices. We are a civic engagement program. We want young people to understand that their voice is important, not just to them, but to their communities, their schools, their neighborhoods, their states, and the country. We were in DC. I've been in DC several times with Lucia, and that's just a real treat. But one of the very first times we call Hill Day, and we go and visit members of the congressional delegations of the various states. And so Lucia was telling her story, and she stopped because she started crying, and she apologized, and everybody said, no, this is real. This should be happening in all congressional offices, right? But she said, I never in my life imagined that I would be sitting in Congress telling my story to a congressperson and having someone listen and want to hear. And to me, Lucia's story is one of, when we talk about a youth voice, she literally learned how to speak the language where she lives and is now a citizen, right? She learned to speak at the Y, but she found a community that said it's really cool to talk about issues and things that you care about, right? And now that's what she's going to do with the rest of her life. I don't think there's anything more that we could ever want to do for a young person.
As of now, I am going to Harvard University in the fall for a double concentration in government and theater, and I'm really excited. I want to do a pre-law track, become a lawyer. I want to run for Congress inevitably. I think that's honestly the dream job of mine, just to get to serve my peers. It has been such a marvelous opportunity to be able to be in the position where I'm at right now, having attended these conferences with MCB as my mentor. I'm getting a little emotional. It's so genuinely life-changing. And if there's one thing I wish that every high school student or even middle school student could accomplish, would be Youth in Government, to find their voice, to find what they're passionate about. The Y has definitely showed me more perspective on what one can accomplish. If someone puts their mind to something, they can achieve it, and that it's not just a figment of their imagination. It's not just a dream they have. And so I truly mean it when I say I owe the YMCA and I owe the Youth in Government program everything.